On October 1st, 2009, the Allegheny Corporation purchased machinery for $114,000. The estimated service life of the machinery is 12 years, and the estimated residual value is $6,000. The machine is expected to produce 222,000 units during its life. And on this problem, we're to calculate depreciation for 2009 and 2010 using each of the following methods. Partial year depreciation is calculated based on the number of months the asset is in service. And we're going to take a look at the straight line method, the sum of the years digits method, the double declining balance method, 150% declining balance method, and units of production. And they tell us that units produced in 2009 were 13,000 units, and in 2010 they were 25,000 units. To calculate depreciation for the 2 years using the straight line method, we take the purchase price, which was $114,000, and we subtract off the estimated residual value of $6,000, and then we divide what's left, which I call the depreciable base, divided by 12 years, which is the useful life of the equipment, and we come up with straight line annual depreciation of $9,000 per year. Since we only have partial year depreciation for 2009, we take the $9,000 and multiply it times 3/12 to come up with $2,250 depreciation for the partial year 2009. For 2010, we record the full year depreciation of $9,000. Using the sum of years digits, we first need to come up with the sum of the digits. And you can either use the formulas presented here, which is the number of years times the number of years plus 1 divided by 2, or you can simply add 12 plus 11 plus 10 plus 9 and so forth. We come up with 78 as the sum of the digits to use, and for 2009 we then take the depreciable base, which is the $114,000 less the $6,000 estimated residual value, times the first year's digits to use, which would be 12 divided by 78. But since we were only in service for partial year, we multiply that times 3/12 just to show us that only 1/4 of the year gets taken in 2009, and that comes out to be $4,154. When we move into 2010, we then take the remaining 9/12 months at the 12 divided by 78 sum of years depreciation rate and multiply that times $108,000, and then we then need to move on to the next year, and we have 3 months using the next digit, which is 11. We always go down each year, start at 12, go to 11, then to 10, and so forth, assuming we had 12-year life. And we multiply the 108,000 times 11/78 and take that times the 3/12, which represents the last 3 months of years 2010. We add those two pieces together, and we come up with the 2010 depreciation as being $16,269. Next, we take a look at the double declining balance. And how we calculate the double declining balance is very simple. We take the straight line rate, which was 1/12, and multiply it times 2. So 1/12 times 2 gets us a 17% double declining balance rate. For 2009, we take the purchase price. Now this time we don't back out the residual value. When you use a declining balance approach, you use the actual purchase price of $114,000 in this problem times the 16.67% double declining balance rate, and we multiply that times the partial years that the asset was in service for 2009, so that's times 3/12, 3 out of 12 months, and we come up with $4,751 as the double declining balance depreciation rate for 2009. For 2010, we then take the $114,000, the original cost, times the 16.67% double declining balance rate, and multiply it times the 9/12 of the year that we've yet to record it, and then we back off the total depreciation that would have been recorded at the end of 1 year, which would be the $4,751 that we recorded in 2009, plus the 9/12 depreciation of $14,253. We add those two pieces, it comes up to $19,004. Subtract that from the original cost, and then that becomes the base we use as we move into the second year's depreciation using double declining balance. So the $114,000 less the $19,004 gives us some amount that we multiply times 16.67%, and in this case we then only get to record that next amount for 3/12 of the year for the year 2010. That comes up to $3,959. We add that to the $14,253, and we calculate depreciation for 2010 at $18,212. Next, we take a look at the 150% declining balance method. And this approach is very much the same as the double declining balance, only instead of taking 1/12 times 2, we take 1/12 times 1.5 to come up with a 13% rate. And then from there, the approach is exactly the same as what we've done before. We take the cost times the 13%, the new 150% declining balance, times 3/12 of the year for 2009. Then we take it times 9/12 for 2010, recompute the balance, 114,000 less what depreciation we've taken for 1 full year, and then multiply that times 13% to get the last 3 months of the second year's depreciation. And finally, we take a look at the units of production approach. And with the units of production approach, we take the cost less the estimated residual value to come up with the numerator, which I call the depreciable base. We divide that by the total expected number of units we expect to produce over the lifetime of using this asset. Okay, so that comes out to be 49 cents per unit as a depreciation rate. And in 2009, we produced 13,000 units, so we take 13,000 units times the 49% depreciation rate to record $6,325 of depreciation. In 2010, we take the 25,000 units produced, which was given in the problem, times the 49% rate to come up with depreciation expense of $12,163 using the units of production method.